Welcome to The Explainer. All right, let's just jump right in. Today, we're going to tear apart this whole idea of confidence. We're talking about a formula for building the real stuff. And guess what? It has absolutely nothing to do with feeling ready. In fact, it's pretty much the exact opposite. So, let me ask you something. And this really gets to the heart of a struggle I think we all face. You know that feeling when you're waiting, just waiting to feel confident enough to start something new or scary? Well, what if I told you that entire way of thinking, it's completely backwards? Okay, so here's the big myth, the core misunderstanding. We're all taught to think of confidence as an input, right? Like it's the gasoline you gotta have in the tank before you can even turn the key. But the truth? Confidence is an output. It's the result of taking action. It's what comes out the other side, not what you start with.
So, yeah, let's dig into this myth first. Because honestly, this one idea is probably the #1 reason so many of us get stuck. Just waiting. Waiting for a feeling that, let's be real, might never show up on its own. You know the drill. People tell you to just believe in yourself. Or, write affirmations on your mirror every morning. I am confident. I am strong. But come on, does that actually work? Just telling yourself you're confident almost never changes how you actually feel deep down. Why? Because your brain is way smarter than that. It doesn't want happy thoughts. It wants cold, hard proof.
And that brings us to the big idea here, the one that's going to completely reframe how you think about this. Confidence, it's something you earn. You earn it through action. It's not something you can just wish for or manifest out of thin air.
So the most important thing to get is that real lasting self-belief. It's forged by keeping the promises you make to yourself. It's about building a reputation with yourself. It's about showing up, especially when you don't feel like it. And there's this amazing story about Leila Hormozi that just perfectly illustrates this whole idea.
Okay, so try to picture this. Leila Hormozi is just 21 years old. She's got $5,000 to her name. That's her entire life savings. And what does she do? She packs up and moves all the way across the country. No job waiting for her, no connections, literally no plan. So she manages to get a job at a gym. She's thinking, great, I can use my degree in exercise science. But then she shows up for day one and realizes it's got nothing to do with fitness. The job is 100% sales, a skill she has absolutely zero experience with. And honestly, she was terrified of it.
And the pressure is on. She's got rent, student loans, all the usual bills, and she's just watching that $5,000 drain away day by day. She literally did the math and figured out she had a hard deadline. 3 months. She had 3 months to make this work, or she was going home completely broke.
Now, most people would quit, right? But she did the exact opposite. Even though she felt like a total fraud, a total imposter, she just committed. She dove in. She read 5 different sales books. She worked insane hours. We're talking 4 a.m. to 9 p.m. She drilled her skills over and over and hunted down anyone who could mentor her. She just put in the reps. And for a solid month, 30 days, she was just terrified. I mean, she tells this story about running to the bathroom before a sales call, thinking she was going to throw up. That's how scared she was. But she didn't quit. She kept showing up. And then it happened. She made her first sale. And you have to hear how she describes this moment. It wasn't really about the commission check or even her team celebrating. It was this massive internal shift. In that one moment, the action of making that sale gave her brain undeniable proof. Proof that every single negative belief she had about herself was just wrong. See, the confidence didn't come before the sale, it came because of it. Okay, so how do we take this amazing story and actually apply it to our own lives? Well, it all starts with understanding how your brain works. Because your brain isn't this mystical thing. It's a logical, evidence-based system when it comes to building belief. See, your brain doesn't really care if you're in a good mood. It's not fooled by a little hit of dopamine. It is a data-gathering machine, plain and simple. It builds real, solid confidence by tracking the truth. It looks at what you actually do over time. And that data, that's what gives it the power to override all those negative emotional stories we tell ourselves. And that is why something as simple as tracking your wins is so incredibly powerful. I'm serious. Writing them down, no matter how tiny they seem, gives your brain the hard data it craves. It's the physical evidence, the proof on paper that shows, hey, look, you are capable. You are making progress, even on those days when you really don't feel like it. Okay, but what happens when you're just stuck? When you're so overwhelmed that the idea of getting even one win seems impossible?
The key is to shrink the goal. I mean, think smaller. No, way smaller than that.
I'm going to say that again because it's so important. If you're struggling to stay consistent with something, your goal is too big, period. The absolute fastest way to build that momentum, to start gathering that evidence for your brain, is to make the first step so tiny that it's almost laughable. So small you pretty much can't fail.
And this example just lays it out perfectly. Let's say you want to become a great public speaker, but you're terrified. You don't start by booking a TED Talk, right? No way. You start with step 1. Speak for just 60 seconds on a Teams Zoom call. That's it. Once you do that, you've got evidence. Then maybe you run a small part of a meeting, more evidence, and you keep stacking these tiny wins step by step until that huge, scary goal actually starts to feel possible.
All right, let's talk about the final boss here. The big hurdle that stops so many people dead in their tracks. What do you do when you're just plain scared? Too scared to even take that first tiny 60-second step.
First things first, you gotta understand that feeling fear is totally normal. It doesn't mean you're weak, it means you're human. Your brain's #1 job isn't to make you successful or famous. Its job is survival. It's an ancient piece of hardware designed to keep you safe from, tigers in the bushes. So when it sees something unknown or uncertain, it flags it as a threat. Feeling scared just means your brain is doing its job.
So the answer isn't to try and get rid of the fear. That's a losing battle. The secret is to understand this really powerful principle. Emotion follows motion. Let that sink in. Your feelings are the results of your actions, not the other way around. You have to move first, and the confident feelings will catch up. You literally have to behave your way into feeling better.
And I just love this image. Instead of fighting your fear or waiting for it to magically disappear, just acknowledge it. Just go, hey, fear, I see you, you're here, got it. And then you just kind of metaphorically put that fear in your purse or your pocket, and you take it along with you for the ride. You do the scary thing with the fear.
So let's put this all together. This new formula for confidence. It's not magic. It's a practical loop, a cycle. You take one tiny, scary action. That action gives your brain a piece of evidence. That evidence starts to break down your old limiting beliefs. And then you just repeat the process over and over, bringing that fear along with you every single time.
And that really just leaves us with one final question for you. Forget about waiting until you feel ready. That day might never come. What is one small, maybe even a little scary promise you're going to make and keep to yourself this week? What's the first piece of evidence you're going to go out and build?